All right, what's up, everybody? My name is Sid Kingsley. It is Tuesday. Welcome to the Hang. And over here to my right is
Gabrielle Silvers, obviously the most, the bestest. We're here for me, basically.
the
Welcome.
hostess with the mostest, Gabrielle Silver. So we're here with the Hang. It's Wednesday. Almost said it was Tuesday. Um, Today we're doing my absolute favorite songwriter of all time, and I say that without any reservations at all. He is 100% my favorite songwriter of all time. His name is Bobby
Bobby Dylan.
Dylan, otherwise known as Robert Zimmerman, Bob Bobberton,
I literally placed
Bobalina.
a bet on the black market that you were going to tell people his real name was Robert Zimmerman. Like, I just could feel it coming.
Of course, yes, Mister Bob Dylan from Hibbing, Minnesota. He's from a real small mining town there in Hibbing, Minnesota. That he quoted as being so cold in the wintertime you couldn't be bad. It was that cold. Couldn't get in
Wow.
trouble.
Dang.
He said they didn't have coats like we have today. You had to just put, 2 or 3 shirts on.
I still do that.
And it was, old iron ore town. They had a mine there that did really well during World War II. And then after the war, he saw, people lose their jobs. And, his dad ran a, what's the word I'm looking for?
A business?
Yeah, business, but it was like an electronic shop or like a consignment shop, and he remembers
Oh.
having to go with his father to repossess items that people couldn't pay for after the mines closed down and they couldn't afford it. And he said that kind of affected him in a, pretty bad way.
Dang. But then he went to New York.
Well, first he went to. I see the thing with Bob Dylan. When you really enjoy a musician, you really get into their entire history of like from the beginning. At least I do. I discover artists by reading their biographies.
Is it only like stalking when they're alive? Well, shit, he hasn't died.
I have a Bob Dylan story as well. I tried to play for him one
All right,
time.
let's not give it up all in one moment.
Yeah. So yeah, Dylan is definitely one of my favorites. He's one of my I don't like to use the word idol, but
Is he your American Idol?
ugh, um, I really respect him as a musician. I don't know him as a human being. He's probably pretty fun to hang around. I'm sure he's pretty quick witted and could give me a run for my money on the talking game.
Thank God.
Um, so this might be a two-parter because Dylan's got such a vast library of
And
music.
you like love him so
Yeah.
much.
I try to get away from Dylan sometimes, and then I'll always hear another song of his that just brings me right back in. I'm like, fuck, I still gotta,
I still love you.
I still love Dylan. I try to, expand my horizons on things, but he's such a profound songwriter. Still to this day, like the stuff he comes out with is still amazing. So I'm going to start with one of the very first songs that he wrote. It's on his first album, which most people don't really know his first album because they kind of called it Hammond's Folly, because John Hammond, the guy that signed him to Columbia Records, they recorded him. It didn't cost a lot for them to record him on this album, and it didn't sell maybe more than 1,000 copies when it first came out. So people were like, whatever. They kind of wrote Dylan off. But one of the songs on there, it's one of the first songs he ever wrote, is called "Song for Woody," and it's a song to Woody Guthrie, who is his idol. Like he discovered Woody Guthrie in college, which he said he went to but never attended classes. Um,
He would say something like that.
He did. He said he was there, but he never went to classes. He didn't see the point. He just played music and stayed up late, and I can relate to that. But he found out where Woody Guthrie was when he got to New York City, and he found out he was in a mental hospital in East Orange, New Jersey, which is weird because he was in a mental hospital, but he was there because he had Huntington's chorea, which is kind of like it's a nervous disorder. It's not a mental disorder. But Dylan found him there.
Wait, so why was he there? Like,
because that's just kind of what they did back then. If they didn't
Oh.
know how to treat something, they just, it's kind of like putting somebody in a nursing home. So they put so he went to go visit Woody Guthrie and was really shocked by the condition he saw him in, and apparently Woody loved him, and Woody really wanted him to. He was always like, play me that song you wrote about me, and if you know anything about Woody Guthrie, I'm going to play one of Woody Guthrie's tunes after this.
He's like a folk, like
he's the original, protest songwriter. He had a guitar that said, "This machine kills fascists." He wrote things for the war effort. He was a super patriotic dude, and was definitely against the Hitler's regime and things like that. And he's for the working man. He came out of the Dust Bowl. He was from Oklahoma. The Dust Bowl refugee was one of his songs. And
So many people from the Midwest.
oh yeah, that's the thing, and I think that's why Dylan really gravitated towards him. Plus, what he was singing about was truth. The working man, and
Can't hide the truth.
can't
man.
hide the truth. What's funny in today's climate, he was considered, going after the fascists today. The anti-fascists would totally call him a fascist, which is that's how crazy things have shifted. That he would be subject to their attacks at this point. But
It's a different climate, man.
Yeah.
We are in uncharted territories for America, but we're hanging in there. We got
Shit's-
music to
shit's
enjoy tonight.
exactly. Shit's crazy. So this is called "Song to Woody." I've never actually played this song ever. I mean, I've played it to practice it for this, but I'd never. I've always liked the song. It's simple, but I've never played it out. I've never
It's so
taken the time
darn
to learn it.
wholesome.
It is wholesome. And you can sing in the song. You can see young little 20-year-old Bob Dylan like meeting his idol and being so impressed by it, being like, "Hey man,
His American Idol.
his American Idol."
I won't stop. Can't stop. Won't stop.
Oh my God. I'm out here 1,000 miles from home, walking the road other men have gone down, seeing your place of people and things, paupers, peasants, princes, and kings. Hey, Woody Guthrie, and I wrote you a song about a funny old world that's coming along. It's sick and it's hungry and it's tired and it's torn. It looks like it's a dying and it's hardly been born. Hey, Woody Guthrie, and I know that you know all the things I'm saying and a many times more. I'm singing you this song, but I can't sing enough, 'cause there's not many men that done the things that you done. Here's to Cisco, Sonny, and Leadbelly too, and all the good people that traveled with you. Here's to the hands and the hearts of the men that come with the dust and are gone with the wind. Might leave tomorrow and I could leave today, someday down the road, someday. The very last thing that I'd like to do, say you've had some hard traveling too. Hey, Woody Guthrie, and I wrote you a song about a funny old world that's coming along. Sick and it's hungry and it's tired and it's torn. It looks like it's a dime, but it's hardly been born.
That was awesome.
All right. Yeah, so it's like you can kind of, with that song, kind of see where his head was. It's kind of hard to play that song sometimes and not get a little emotional about
It's
it.
very emotional.
I
I
mean-
like can't believe you can tell the respect he has for Woody.
Oh my God.
It's so sweet.
It is sweet. And it's like, maybe Dylan was the first emo, It's
What a romantic.
because that's the thing. A lot of interviewers and stuff, they're like, you seem angrier, It's like, no, man, he's just.
What was it? What was it? An atomic rain? Okay, so that's not.
No. It's a hard rain. It's a hard rain. It's not an atomic rain. Yeah, I mean, he's notorious too. If you ever really get into Dylan, his interactions with the press, he made up stories and stuff like that. And I take after him on that. I kind
Oh
of.
my God! If I let you say half the shit you want to say, we would be in a different place.
I love making stuff up and it's scary in a way too, because I've made up just fantastical stories that I'm like, this is so outrageous that there's
Like it's funny to you because
Yeah,
you
it's-
obviously know it's not true.
yeah, that
and
it's
like
completely untrue, and then people just they believe that. Well, I guess people they take you at your word, but it's like you just make
at
up.
least your friends know it's not true. Like if you were to say some dumb shit next to me, I'd be like,
Yeah, and it's not fantastical in a way to like hurt anyone. It's just kind of
it's just funny.
it's just embellishing. Like he talked about how
No,
he grew up in Gallup, New Mexico, and was part of the circus and stuff. And it's like it's total bullshit, but
Yeah.
it's super entertaining. And he thought that's what you do with the press, And it's like, and I think it's kind of funny.
I mean, honestly, I feel like you don't owe the press anything, but social media and like media in general has taken a whole new life.
Yes, unfortunately, but yeah, it's all lies now. But who knows? So yeah, I figured I'd do a Woody Guthrie tune as well, and like this is a song that like I remember being in like elementary school and singing this song, and it's like when you're in elementary school, you don't have the wherewithal to really interpret maybe some people do. I didn't, to kind of interpret the words of a song. So this is a song everybody
Who is
knows.
interpreting words of a song as an elementary student?
They're not.
I'm like,
but going back and singing this song now, it's like holy cow! Like this is a totally different. Like the message of this song is a lot deeper than,
wait, you heard this song?
we used to sing it in elementary school.
For what?
It was like, I don't know, sing along music day. I don't know.
Sing along music.
It's like we used to recite the Pledge of Allegiance, and we used to, we'd sing, It's a Small World, and we'd sing,
Oh,
all
like
those.
in music class.
Yeah, like in music class.
Okay.
And like,
Did you play with a recorder?
No, we didn't. We weren't that fancy. We were in the country, so we didn't have access to all of those.
So just folk songs for y'all.
Yeah, just American folk songs. But yeah, so I'm gonna do This Land Is Your Land.
Oh.
This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. As I went walking that ribbon highway, I saw above me that endless skyway. I saw below me that golden valley. This land was made for you and me. This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. Roamed and rambled and followed my footsteps to the sparkling sands of the diamond deserts and sounding. This land was made for you and me. This land is my land. This land is your land. From California to the New York Island, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. The sun was shining as I was strolling, the wheat fields waving and the dust clouds rolling, and the fog was lifting, and a voice came chanting, this land was made for you and me.
Okay, I do remember that song from elementary school.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great song, and and Woody Guthrie wrote that song, so he was, around during the Dust Bowl that was happening right after the Great Depression,
What year was that?
33, and it lasted for a few years, but they called them the Okies. So what happens was the Dust Bowl was, in the Midwest, Oklahoma area and stuff like that, and he was part of the Okie movement, and they left Oklahoma, looking for jobs and to get out of the dust. I mean, people were dying, people were starving to death, and
Couldn't breathe.
and they were all going to California because there was fruit trees and other agricultural things to do out there. So they were all trying to go there for jobs, and California set up a border when you weren't allowed to go in.
Really?
Yeah. So
Why?
they didn't want any of these people from Oklahoma migrating to California. And Woody got really upset about this. He's like, no, and that's why he wrote this song. He's like, this is all of our land. This is the United States. This is America. Like we have just as much right to be here as anyone else. And
Wow.
so he wrote this song. Yeah, there's a lot of lyrics to this song. But yeah, basically that's why he wrote this song. It was him, basically being part of the Okie movement and getting turned away. And he was like, I didn't see a sign that said this wasn't America. I thought it was,
So whatever happened? Did he not get to go to California?
Oh, he got to go because
Okay.
he
He wrote the song, and they were like, "Damn,
yeah,
dude,
they're like, dude,
hell yeah, you could come."
something like that. But yeah, he
That's not
he
what
made
happened.
it. Yeah, no,
Don't
that's
try to make me feel better.
I don't know what happened. I know Ken Burns has a documentary called The Dust Bowl.
If you mention that man's name to me one more fucking
Ken Burns is pretty good. His documentaries are great. But he did one on the Dust Bowl and Woody Guthrie's music. You can't talk about the Dust Bowl and not talk about Woody Guthrie.
I thought you were gonna say Ken Burns.
No, you can definitely talk about the Dust Bowl and not talk about Ken Burns. But yeah, it's really good. And yeah, and I didn't want to do anything about Bob Dylan and not do something about Woody Guthrie. I mean,
it definitely influenced his music. Like you can tell.
oh yeah, his first couple of albums, his talking blues and stuff, he got that straight. That's straight up Woody Guthrie. Like if you listen to Woody and then you go back and listen to Bob's early stuff, it's like, oh okay, like you can see where he got it.
Ooh, what's next?
So what we're gonna do now, I'm gonna get into. Like I said, this is probably gonna be a two-parter. I don't know when I'll do the second part and get to the later Dylan stuff, but I'm gonna do songs that he didn't necessarily write, but were instrumental in him in his journey from folk music, which is
Would people know these songs?
if they know Bob Dylan, they would definitely know these songs, or Dave Von Ronk, or any of the people during the folk revival in Greenwich Village.
Do you think they would recognize any of the songs from someone else doing it?
No.
Okay.
Maybe if you've seen me play live, you've heard me play some of these songs, but a lot of these are really deep cut folk songs that Dylan was famous for covering, and that was the thing about folk music. It's the people's music. It's passed down through generation and people's interpretations of it. These are my interpretations of these songs, so they're not going to sound anything like the other ones, so which is beautiful. That's what's beautiful about folk music. It's passed down. And even jazz music. Jazz music is definitely folk music. I remember there's a story of Bob Dylan when he was in Greenwich Village going to see Thelonious Monk, and he said he said he's talking to Thelonious, and he asked Thelonious was like, "What kind of music do you play?" And he was like, "I play folk music." And Thelonious was like, "We all play folk music. It's all the people's music. So
That's adorable.
it's kind of beautiful. It's kind of cool that those two." And that's my biggest as far as music goes. My biggest influences are jazz and folk. So it's like I see them definitely in the same vein. Seems strange if you listen to them. It's like, oh, that doesn't make no, but they're both fully American musics. They came out of the meld of American culture, which is great. From the Highlands and the Appalachian music that came out of the mountains, and the Irish that settled there, to stuff that came out of the jazz coming out of the trades down in New Orleans. It's crazy. Anyway, this song is called "He Was a Friend of Mine," and it's I don't think they really know who wrote it, but it's definitely it's over 120, 130 years old.
I definitely thought this was a Bob Dylan tune, like, not gonna lie.
Nope.
He was a friend of mine. He was a friend of mine. Every time I think about him now, Lord, I can't keep from crying. He was a friend of mine. He died on that road. He died on that road. Never had enough of that money. Ooh, and he could never pay his room or board. But he was a friend of mine. Oh, and I stole away and I cried. Oh, and I stole away and I cried. Oh, and I've never had too much money. I've never been quite satisfied. But he was a friend of mine. Yeah, and he died on that road. Oh, and he died on that road. Oh, and 1,000 miles from his home. Oh, and he'll never harm no one. He was a friend of mine. Lord, I can't keep from crying. He was a friend of
Dang, baby, you got me in my feels. That was good. That was good. How y'all feeling? Are you guys in your feels? I feel good. I feel good. Don't forget, y'all, if you are feeling good right here with us, you can support the music and contribute in any way you can. You know, stream this beautiful angel voice from the heavens on Spotify or all streaming platforms. You can check out, you know, the little Venmo and PayPal links if you're feeling particularly generous. For all of you that already have, thank you so much. But that was sweet. That was soulful. That was like, I'm kind of swooning right now.
Oh
you know?
my God, this is my number one fan over here.
Yeah.
She has to say that.
I do get paid. That's where your money goes for me to.
All my money gets, you know, every time you donate, she says one nice thing about me, and that's enough for me to live on for like a week. So I'll take it. You know, that song, Dave Von Ronk's done that one. It's just that's the quintessential folk. It's like it is in the feels. It is like, it's truth music. It's like, you know, you can just see this dude's just kind of like, yo, this was my friend, and he died, and he wasn't that great. He wasn't that exceptional. He never had any money. You know, he didn't do much, but he's my friend, and damn, that's deep.
So
you know?
Dave wrote that song.
No, Dave Von Ronk was another person in the Greenwich Village folk revival scene, and people may know his version more than Bob's version, but Dave was already there when Bob got there, and kind of took Bob under his wing, and Bob kind of
And then Bob fucking stole his song.
yeah, well, he didn't steal his song. So the song "House of the Rising Sun," most people know the Animals version of it, but Dylan put it on his first album. And he got it from watching Dave Von Ronk do it, and he even asked Dave. He said, do you mind if I record that song? And Dave was like, well, you know, I was thinking about
He minded.
recording that song myself, and Bob was like, uh-oh, because he had already recorded it.
He had already recorded it.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. But yeah, so I'm going to do another folk tune. This is one that I used to do a lot. It's one of my favorite tunes, Moonshiner. So this song is it's an old Irish folk song or a Scottish folk song. It's been around for a long time, and Dylan really made it his. I love his version of it. That's where I stole it from, and then I've embellished on his version of it. But if you hear the original version, it's like, you know, it's an old Irish drinking. I am a moonshiner, I bring my still.
Really?
Yeah, it's like a, you know, swing your fucking drinks around. You know, it's a sailor song, you know.
So there's a little more pep in there.
Oh yeah, it's a
little
straight
slower.
up. Yeah, it's a straight up, you know, let's go.
I would die if I was in fucking Galway or Dublin or wherever the fuck. Sorry. If I was in Ireland and I heard Moonshiner come on, it was like a sing along drinking song, because like I've just heard Your Way and have fallen in love with it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it definitely started out as a, you know, a cheery, let's go, you know. Yeah, it's one of those tunes. But yeah, but I'm gonna do it definitely my own way.
Oh, I've been a moonshiner for 17 long years. Oh, and I spent all my money on a whiskey and beer. Yeah, and I go to some hollow. Oh, and I set up my scheme. Oh, maybe whiskey don't kill me. Oh, and I don't know what oh, and I go to some barroom. Oh, and I drink with all my friends. Ooh, where them women can't follow. Oh, and see all that money I spend. Well, God bless all them women. Oh, and I wish they was mine. Oh, and their breath is so damn sweet. As the dew on the vine. Ooh, let me eat when I'm hungry. Oh, and let me drink when I'm dry. Yeah, and give me dollars when I'm hard up. And religion when I die. Ooh, and the whole world's at bottom. Hell, life's but a train. Oh, and when that bottle gets empty, oh, and it sure ain't worth a day.
Beautiful. Loved it. If you guys have ever seen Sid play live, like you will have very likely seen that song. And if you haven't, I am so excited for when he can play again in real life for you guys, because it is really wonderful.
I can't wait to play in real life either. I kind of, part of me misses, a lot of me misses
Real shows.
real shows for sure, like that feeling of like playing. And I guess I'm out of practice doing it, but I'm also like really, really into being in the studio right now. It's like I'm kind of like reinventing myself in that way. It's really nice to be able to, it's one thing to be on the road all the time. You can't really work on stuff. It's hard to write on the road for me at least, and doing that stuff. So it's really nice to be able to sit in a studio and just
You've been writing a lot.
mm-hmm. Yeah, so that brings me next week's show. We're gonna do. I think I'm gonna go ahead and do an original set. I haven't done an original set yet of original music. There's so many good artists to cover, and but yeah, I'll be one of the, I'll do my music next week, and then maybe after that we'll do a part 2 of Dylan, or maybe another
Artist
artist or all together. Yeah.
Is there anybody y'all want to see him do? Just out of curiosity, I would love, like, we get a lot of different suggestions, but if you're watching this, drop it down in the comments below.
Yeah, let us know if there's somebody you want to see. Let us know. I'll try my best to make it happen. Especially if it's an artist like I've never heard of before. That's also always really cool to be able to, like, maybe I love finding new artists and finding new music to do. So, like, that helps me grow as a musician. So if you've got any suggestions, I'm down. And it doesn't matter the genre. Obviously, I'm not a good rapper, so
still drop it in the
you
comments.
can drop it, and I'll try, but I'm not. That's not my forte. So you are forewarned. You don't want to hear me rap.
I want to hear you rap.
I bet you do. So now we're going to get into. I'm going to go into Bob. This is, I think, his most popular album, besides Blonde on Blonde, which was when he, Electric or whatever. But he was Electric before that. But the Freewheelin' LP is what really put Dylan on the map. That was his second album, the cover with him and Susie Bertolo on the cover. And so I did Don't Think Twice in the first episode. That was the song I did on The Voice. That's off his Freewheelin' LP. And we actually went to Greenwich Village and went to the exact street in the exact spot that they took that picture. And we actually took a picture together just like they did. And you can stream that on iTunes. You can buy it on iTunes. You can stream it on Spotify,
We
Deezer.
look cute.
Yeah, it was great. It was fun. It was fun, and it was during the pandemic, so we really just drove all the way up there.
Well, I was picking up some art.
She was picking up an art piece, but we literally drove all the way up to New York City.
No, we didn't see anybody.
No.
Like, we literally picked up the art for like 2 seconds. We're in the streets. Nobody are in the streets in New York right now. It's actually cool. I don't even know if you can get into New York anymore, to be honest, but like, this was a while back. We were in our car, hopped out for the picture, and hopped back in. It was crazy.
It was definitely crazy. Well, we got a good picture out of it, and so I'm not going to do Don't Think Twice because I've already done that. But I'm going to do one of my favorite songs of his called Hard Rain.
Is it an atomic rain?
Yeah, it's a hard rain.
We're quoting this like funny interview where Bob is literally giving everybody in the room a hard time because it's his favorite like pastime, which I feel like is a very vibey of Sid. Like, I feel like that's a good connection.
I enjoy a little bit of chaos every now and then, really with people in general. I like to.
You just like to stir the pot and just for good conversation.
I like to play devil's advocate. I like to stir things up. But anyway, this song is beautiful. It's when Dylan, I feel like, comes into his own as a poet and as a writer. And even Allen Ginsberg, he said when he heard this song, he started to weep, because he said it was like the torch was being passed from like the beatnik generation, his generation with Jack Kerouac and stuff, to the new generation, which was Dylan. It was like, the new generation of poets. So yeah, and it's a beautiful song. Yeah, it's called Hard Rain. It's a
wild wolves all around. Oh, and I saw highway diamonds with nobody on it. Oh, and I saw a black branch with blood that kept dripping. Oh, and I saw a room full of men with their hammers bleeding. Oh, and I saw a white ladder all covered with water. Saw 10,000 talkers whose tongues were all broken. Saw guns and sharp swords in the hands of young children. Oh, and it's a hard, oh, and it's a hard, oh, and it's a hard, and it's a hard, oh, and it's a hard rain gonna fall. Ooh, what did you hear, my blue-eyed son? Ooh, and what did you hear, my darling young I heard the sound of a thunder and it roared without warning. Oh, and I heard the sound of a roar and it roared without warning. Heard 100 drummers whose hands were blazing. Heard 10,000 whispering and nobody listening. Heard one person starve and I heard many people laughing. Heard the song of a poet who died in the gutter. Heard the sound of a clown that cried in the alley. Oh, and it's a hard, and it's a hard, oh, and it's a hard, and it's a hard, oh, and it's a hard rain's gonna fall. Ooh, did you meet my blue-eyed son? Ooh, did you meet my darling young one? Oh, and I met a young child beside a dead pony. Oh, and I met a white man that walked a black dog. Oh, and I met a young woman whose body it was burning. Oh, and I met a young girl and she gave me a rainbow. Oh, and I met one man that was wounded in love. Oh, and I met another man who was wounded in hatred. It's a hard, it's a hard, oh, and it's a hard, and it's a hard, oh, and it's a hard rain gonna fall. Ooh, and what do you do now, my blue-eyed son? Oh, and what do you do now, my darling young one? Oh, and I guess I go back out for that rain starts a falling. Oh, and I walk to the depths of the deepest dark forest. Oh, where the people are many and their hands are all empty. Where home in the valley meets the damp, dirty prison. Where the executioner's face is always well hidden. color where none is the number. And I tell it and I think it and I speak it and I'll breathe it. And reflect it from the souls of the mountain who sees it. Oh, and I stand in the ocean until I start sinking. Oh, and I know my soul well before I start singing. It's a heart and it's a heart. Oh, and it's a heart and it's a heart and it's a heart race. Who's gonna fall?
Why are you so good?
Oh,
Good God.
Shut up.
Good.
That was
Yeah, that was terrible.
That
Of
was-
course.
That was some
You should
terribleness.
just-
All right. So yeah, that is probably one. It's a long song. It really is. I know y'all sat through that. I appreciate that. If you didn't, I understand. It's a long
It's
song.
okay if you
hard
stood
to-
up.
Yeah, if you had to go to the bathroom or whatever. But it's one of those, man, there's
Makes
a
it
lot going on
awkward.
there. That's a good song. Maybe you listen back to it. It'll be on YouTube. It'll be on the places. Or you can listen to Dylan's version. It's
Or
beautiful.
Face World.
It's a really beautiful song. So I don't know if I want to do that one. It's a good song, but
What song is it?
Girl of the North Country. Yeah, we're still on. It's a good song. But I kind of want to do this. There's another song called. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do that song, but I'm going to do it. You know what? I'm just going to do that song. I'm going to do it. I'm going to go ahead and do it.
Emotional roller coaster over here,
Yeah,
ladies and
it's
gentlemen.
a good song. I really do. There's a version of this song that he did with Johnny Cash. I'm not going to do that version. I like the original version of this song. I like the one with Johnny Cash as well. It's on his album Nashville Skyline. But this one was also on Freewheelin' LP, and it's a really good song. And he's basically talking about a love that he had back in Hibbing, Minnesota. I think her name was Echo. Yeah.
That's different for back then.
Yeah, he even says that. But yeah, it's called Girl of the North Country. Well, I'll just do it. Instead of talking about, should I not do it? Yeah, I'll practice it. I should do it.
You should do it.
Oh, and if you're traveling in the North Country Fair, where the winds hit heavy on that borderline, remember me, the one who lives there. She once was a true love of mine. Well, if you go where them snowflakes storm, where rivers freeze and summer ends, please see for me if she's got a coat so warm, keep her from them howling winds. Please see for me if her hair it still hangs long. Oh, and if it rolls and flows down her breast. Please see for me if her hair it still hangs long. Oh, and that's the way I remember her best. Oh, and I'm wondering if she remembers me at all. Many times I've often prayed in the darkness of my night. So if you're traveling in that North Country Fair, where the winds hit heavy on that borderline, remember me to one who lives there. Oh, she once was a true love of mine.
It's a good song. There's a reason I didn't want to do that song.
Why? I loved it.
It's a great song. So you know,
But
the next song that I'm going to do is almost identical in the chord structure and the totally different song,
what is it? What song?
Spanish Boots.
See, I love Spanish boots of leather, of Spanish leather.
It's one of my favorites. And Girl in the North Country, I just didn't want to play them back to back, and then here I am. I
See,
messed
you
up.
gotta specify
I messed up.
what you want to do, not what you don't want to do. You know, someone told me that once.
You ain't wrong. Manifestation. Put out what you want, not what you don't want.
You're gonna get it either way.
Yep. So anyway, this is one of my favorite songs. It's called Spanish Boots, and basically, so at this point, this is from the album after Freewheelin'. It's called Another Side of Bob Dylan. People don't really talk about that album a lot. I love it. I think it's one of his greats. I mean, he has a lot of great albums, but yeah, one of my favorites.
Is there an album that you don't like?
Planet Waves. It's pretty terrible.
What's the cover art look like? Do you remember? No, you hate it. You hate it.
Terrible. But and his Christmas album is something to be desired. It's Dylan, but it's like, man, oh man, you know, it's like, oh my god, it's like, what's going on here?
Oh my
But it's
God.
Dylan, you know, fuck it, Dylan can do whatever he wants, you know. If he wants to do a Christmas album where he's
It's like, did you remove the cigarette from your mouth while you sang that song?
it's bad. But this one is about so he was dating this girl, Susie Rotolo, who was on the cover of Freewheelin', and she was from a kind of a well-to-do family, and her mother and her sister did not like Dylan at all because he was a musician. He was an artist. They hated him. So they interfered in their relationship a lot, and they convinced her to leave and go to Italy. And so this song is kind of a call and response. You know, he's like you know, saying, you know, she's telling him that she's, you know, going away for a little while, and he's like, you know, she's like, is there anything I can bring you from my travels? And he's like, no, I just want you to, you know, come back to me, you know, unspoiled. I just love you, and that's all I want. I don't need any trinkets or whatever. And she's like, you know, and eventually the song goes through, you'll hear it, and she eventually is like, well, I'm not really coming back. And he's like, well, fine, then send me some boots.
Of Spanish leather.
Yeah, he's basically at the end of it, he's just like, all right, well, that sucks. If you're not coming back, then send me a pair of boots. It's beautiful, in that Dylan way. But yeah, it's called Spanish Boots.
Oh, and I'm sailing away with my own true love. Oh, and I'm sailing away in the morning. Oh, is there something I can send you to remember me by? Oh, from the place that I be landing. Oh, no, there's nothing you can send me, my own true love. Oh, and there's nothing I'm wishing to be owning. Oh, just carry yourself back to me unspoiled. Oh, from across that lonesome ocean. But I thought you might want something fine. Made of silver or gold. coast of Barcelona. Ooh, but if I had all the stars from the darkest night, oh, and the diamonds from the deepest ocean, oh, and I'd forsake them all for your sweet kiss. And for that's all I'm wishing to be owning. Oh, but I might be gone a long old time. Oh, and it's only that I'm asking. Is there something I can send you to remember me by? To make your time more easy passing. Oh, now can you ask me again? Oh, and it only brings me sorrow. Oh, and the same thing that I'd want today. Oh, and I'd want again tomorrow. Oh, and I got a letter on a lonesome day. Oh, and it was from a ship a-sailing, saying I don't know when I'll be back again. Oh, and it depends on how I'm feeling. Oh, and if you, my love, must think that way, oh, and I'm sure your mind is roaming. Oh, and I'm sure your thoughts ain't with me. Oh, but with the country where you're going. Take heed of them western winds. Ooh, take heed of that stormy weather. Oh, and yes, there's something you can send back to me. Spanish boots or Spanish leather.
That's a good one. That's just.
So it sounds like she went to Spain.
Yeah, in the song.
What? She really went to Italy?
Yeah.
It's all coming together now.
Yeah. She went to Italy, and also there's on that album as well. There's a song called "Ballad in Plain D." It's the only song that Dylan says he regrets writing because it's basically a biographical tale about Susie and her sister. Like it literally starts off with like her parasite sister. You know, basically it's really scathing. If you want to.
So he would prefer to tell a story that's like, we'll take you on the same journey that
Like
he
a
went through,
metaphor.
but without like her sister sucks. And this
Basically,
is why.
yeah, it was basically like a really. He said it's the only song he's ever apologized for writing. That it was just he was young and he was angry and Dylan's good with words and it's
He's like, my bad. Sorry about that truth.
yeah it's pretty truth or it's his side of the story. Who knows? Nobody was there. I wasn't there. You
I
weren't
don't
there.
know.
Nobody knows. But if you listen to that song, it sounds like Dylan did not like her at all. So I'm gonna do one more song for you. This one's called Baby Blue. This is off of what album is this off of? Shit. Doesn't matter. It does matter.
Freewheeling.
No, it's not all freewheeling. This is more when he went kind of electric. I'll think of it after this is over. But it's a great song. It's called Goodbye Baby Blue. Actually, it's just called Baby Blue. Actually,
We don't know.
it's all over now. Baby Blue is the name of it, actually. I just call it Baby Blue because it's good. So I'm going to do that. We'll close out with that, and we will see you next week.
Don't forget, guys, if you're feeling particularly generous, Sid is recording a new album. Holler at the Spotify streams.
All right, here we go.
Must leave now, take what you need, you think will last. Whatever you wish to keep, you better grab it fast. He understands you're orphan with his gun, crying like a fire in the sun. Oh, and look out, them saints are coming through. Oh, and it's all over, baby blue. Highways for gamblers, you better use your sense. Oh, and take what you gathered from coincidence. Oh, and that empty-handed painter from your streets, drawing crazy patterns on your sheets. Oh, and the sky too is folding under you. Oh, and it's all over, baby blue. Oh, and there's nothing you can do. Oh, your seasick sailors are all rowing on. Oh, and all your reindeer armies are all coming home. Oh, and that lover that's just walked out your door is taking all his blankets from your floor. Oh, and the carpet too is moving under you. Oh, and it's all over, baby blue. Oh, and there's nothing you can do. Leave your stepping stones behind, something calls you. Forget the dead you've left behind, you can't follow you. The vagabond's rapping at your door is wearing the clothes that you once wore. Oh, strike another match and go start anew.